What is up, crypto community? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. A lot going on in the US with crypto regulation and stablecoins, specifically in Wyoming. I have all the clips of that. But first off, guys, this story caught my eye. Very interesting. So you know when you get on a crypto exchange, they have a policy called KYC, Know Your Client. If you want to trade a certain amount of money or withdraw a certain amount of a cryptocurrency, you have to submit your ID, which for a lot of people who like to stay anonymous with crypto, especially when they have million-dollar sums, where people get robbed for $10,000, a lot easier to rob crypto. So those people have millions of dollars, they don't like this KYC policy. Allegedly now, you can get these AI-generated passports, ID cards, and people are saying for $15, these are passing the KYC requirements. So I'm not saying to do this. I'm sure this is illegal, but it is interesting that an AI-generated fake ID is being able to fool these crypto exchange identity checks. I just thought that was pretty interesting. And a win here for the blue-collar man. There's been these riots in the EU related to farming costs and just the treatment of farmers, which kind of I feel the same way over the treatment of farmers as I do with the treatment of veterans. These are the people that lay the foundation, plumbers, electricians, these blue-collar guys. They don't get paid much, and they lay the foundation for us to live in the worlds that we take for granted a lot of the time. But the EU has turned into the farmers, dropping a 30% reduction target on emissions from farming, reversing unrealistic pesticide quotas, allowing more land for farm use, and agreeing to stop telling U.S. citizens to eat meat. So even if you don't live in the EU, this is a win for humans everywhere, in my opinion. Really quick, if you guys need a spot to get XRP or Flare, check out Uphold in the video description below, where I get my XRP daily. And if you want 41 bucks for free, sign up with Webull, deposit 1 penny, and you get $41 in free stocks. Sell your stocks, close your account, do whatever you want. Check out Webull in the video description below. An interesting picture here. This is the USDebtClock.org. They show old money, perpetual debt, interest creation, unlimited, unaudited, Federal Reserve, wealth extraction scheme, compared to new money, asset-based wealth creation, limited supply, store of increased value. This makes me think of a lot of cryptocurrencies, whether it's XRP with 100 billion set fixed supply, whether it's Bitcoin with a 21 million set fixed supply. In this fiat money world where there's more money printed every single day, if you're not investing your money, you're not taking those risks, and you just store it in a savings account, you're losing money every day to inflation. Even though the number might stay the same, the price of the goods around you are not. And so the big difference between these crypto assets that do have a limited supply compared to this fiat currency is that limited supply. And I just found this interesting on the USDebtClock.org that they have this graphic here. It just makes me think of, I don't think we'll have a debt-free world, but one thing that the Middle East has done right is the banning of, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, usury, the idea of charging interest on money lending. A lot of cultures throughout world history have banned this because people argue it's modern-day enslavement. And just look at the United States. You can file bankruptcy in the United States on anything pretty much. You know what? The biggest thing that you can't? Student loans. Student loans. How backwards is that? You would think you'd want to incentivize people, even if they're taking out debt, to go to universities. You can declare bankruptcy on any debt, but not a student loan. If that ain't slavery, I don't know what is. And another just off crypto story. Have you guys seen these Apple Vision Pro headsets? This guy tweets this out. He says, "The end." Let me know your thoughts on these. I think it'd be a cool thing just to, kind of mess around with, maybe play a game on it or something. But do you think we actually are going to move towards a world where everyone's wearing a headset like this? I doubt it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But also in the past 2 weeks, Elon Musk tweeted out that Neuralink, it's a chip that you implant into your brain and allows you to basically do a lot of this stuff without a headset. That passed the first human trial, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the future. I sure hope it isn't, though. I've been talking about this a lot lately. Ripple CTO will broaden its business to new use cases. This is the CTO, David Schwartz. And I think the big use case is going to be real-world asset tokenization, whether it's sporting tickets, whether it's gold, silver, whether it's NVIDIA stock. I think all of these things will be on the blockchain. And Good Morning Crypto says tokenization is about to revolutionize the XRP ledger. Ripple CTO David Schwartz unveils the timeline 12 to 18 months. With a $1.4 quadrillion market, even a 1% capture means trillions flowing into XRP. Are you bullish on XRPL tokenization? I sure would be. I know we think a lot about cross-border payments, but keep in mind, a lot of the world's biggest companies, they started with something that they knew had a competitive advantage, and then they branched out into a lot of other things. Amazon, online bookstore. Now look at Amazon. It's much, much more than online books. That's probably under 0.0001% of their market cap. So just keep in mind, XRP has an advantage for cross-border payments. That's what Ripple is using to break down the door to get in with these companies. But I believe once that takes off a bit, they will transition more to these other broad blockchain uses. And now for these Wyoming stablecoin legislations. Okay, there's 4 clips here. I'm going to go through all of them. I want to play this first one right here. This is a hearing in the state of Wyoming. Wyoming in the United States, it's kind of one of those states that's more rural, not a lot of cities, but their capital, Cheyenne, is actually where Ripple and a lot of blockchain companies have put local headquarters, because the government in Wyoming is, unlike the US government, being very favorable towards crypto. And I think it makes sense when you look at a state as an older population. Not a lot of people move to Wyoming. You don't really hear that a lot. But a lot of these crypto companies, who are they hiring? They're hiring young people. And so it's a smart way for the state to attract young talent and investment to their community. And they're doing that through blockchain. Take a listen.
We'll start to get a framework around what they're doing, why they're doing, and how they're going to pull this off. So listen in. Let's go over to this first clip.
The commission is staffed by 7 commissioners. The initial 3 who were appointed to the commission were the governor, the state auditor, and the state treasurer. The 3 commissioners then appointed 4 more subject matter experts. Those again would include Flavia Naves, who is the former general counsel of Circle.
I'd like you to look up Circle Committee on your machines in front of you.
Circle, again, is the largest, not to spoil anything, but they are the largest domestic stable token issuer with $25 billion under management and have raised over $1.1 billion in capital.
So this is kind of a real company, a real thing, huh?
This is certainly a real thing, Madam Chairman. 5.8.
One thing to notice on that 1.1 billion in capital raised by Circle USDC, $500 million of that investment was from your favorite hedge fund, BlackRock. So don't fade BlackRock.
$1 million for the 2025-2026 biennium. And I put a very important part in bold here that the commission expects and intends to return all capital provided by the general fund using investment income generated by the underlying reserves of the stable token. And critically here, we've entered a request for information period to solicit to begin socializing with potential vendors what it is we're trying to build, which is, again, the full front-to-back life cycle of a Wyoming stable token. The response to the RFI, I would characterize it as overwhelming. In the 30 days we had, which includes the Thanksgiving holiday, in which the RFI was live, I was in contact with over 210 people across 92 companies who are interested in contributing to this effort. Here is the need for expediency from our agency. There is great economic potential here in leveraging the high interest rate environment we currently find ourselves in. That being said, the Fed has already alluded to cutting rates several times across 2024, and that would have an impact on how much revenues we're able to generate. So again, being expeditious with this will be beneficial. Some of the math we've been using to do our projections here assumes a $100 million market capitalization of the stable token, a 4.5% interest rate on $100 million of stable tokens outstanding. That is $4.5 million. If you were to allocate every one of those dollars to repayment, you'd be almost there in a year.
How many employees do we have?
Director?
Madam Chairman, Senator Grew, you're looking at them.
If we approve the funds, what's your timeline for when the stable token can go online, be live?
Director?
Madam Chairman, Representative Stith, our goal is to have the stable token online by the end of this calendar year. So by year end 2024.
Director Apollo, how would you respond to, say, naysayers who would say, well, this is a nice effort, but we're too late because USDC, they already have a first mover advantage. And if we come out with our stable token, it just won't go anywhere because whoever gets there first wins. And
I think there's plenty of potential for us to be the first publicly issued stable token on the market. From a purely mathematical perspective, the fact that PayPal launched their stable token in August, I believe it was August 24th of last year, with about $40 million of market cap out the gate, it's now 300 million. There is room for new entrants into the market. Our hope is some of those legal benefits and value adds would be conferred to the end user in terms of things like privacy or custody.
would you also say that one of the advantages is that having a sovereign state, a Wyoming stable token, gives an added sense of confidence that the private sector just simply can't provide?
I would 100% agree with that comment.
Providing daily net asset values, et cetera, which is not what the treasurer's office typically does. And if we were to take the time to initiate new policies, hire new staff, train new staff, et cetera, we might impede the progress of the stable token. And we do not wish to endanger the first public mover advantage that the stable token would have.
Does that impede your ability to meet your 2024 goal?
I do not believe that is a blocker at this time.
To appropriate of that agency $5.8 million as requested.
I see that as a motion to open up the agency 91. First, does everyone understand the motion?
I,
Give me a second here. I want to be supportive of this, but I also, it's kind of hard. Representative Larson, I'm having a hard time. A lot of things I don't understand about this, and I don't pretend to.
I'm going to vote against this, but I would support a smaller number.
One of the truly big use cases for this would be if the retailers, including the big box retailers and all our large retailers who currently pay a lot of money in credit card processing fees, if they were to convince their customers to use a stable token instead, suddenly instead of paying 2% on every transaction, they're now paying almost nothing per transaction. That's a huge potential for that.
The work that you're doing is this is pretty fun stuff, and I mean, it's certainly over my head, but I trust you.
Let's do a raise of hands. All those in favor, please raise your hands. All those opposed, please raise your hands.
Madam Chairman, I got 7-5.
So that motion.
That air quotes passed with a 7-5 vote. The European Central Bank put out a series of 5 requests for proposals. They're offering $1.2 billion to build that. So I think our ask to the JEC of 5.8 million is pretty relative to that. There are potential vendor names on here, but this is the context which substantiates the $3.7-ish million ask for vendors.
A little on Tether. I noticed that we didn't really discuss that as a use case as far as some of the our token displacing some of the Tether token. I'm assuming that's still something that won't happen maybe in 24, 25, but probably after that. But I'm not sure where Tether.
And now it gets interesting because they talk about Tether, and it's a good argument. Tether is by far the largest stablecoin by market cap, probably at least double USDC. But there's a lot of shady things behind Tether. There's a reason that BlackRock, biggest hedge fund in the world, chose to invest in Circle USDC and not Tether. I made a 50-minute video on Tether when I first started on YouTube, maybe like 3 years ago. I think it's unlisted. If you guys were interested in that, I could put that out there. But there's a lot of shady stuff and a lot of skeletons in the Tether closet. And they kind of touch on that here.
Where Tether comes into our use cases, I guess.
Tether's so the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, which manages Tether's reserve or a majority of Tether's reserves, has said as of this week at Davos that they have the money in reserves. However, they've still not passed an audit.
So they have the money in the reserves, but they have still not passed the audit. How do you relegate those two? It's been years that they've been asking for a Tether audit. They have 80 billion issued in Tether stablecoins, and a lot of speculation is what is backing these Tethers. People, individual retail guys like you and me, have tried in the past to redeem Tether. You have to submit a form. It's very lengthy because stablecoins by nature are supposed to be redeemable 1-to-1 for $1. However, no one has been able to ever redeem Tether, and the speculation is the only people that can cash out Tether are these big institutional market makers, people like FTX, and you see how that went.
And I think that's kind of a wait and see approach from our perspective. Also quickly noting for the other incumbents we're typically tracking, so Circle privately filed an S1 report. So they do intend to go public, although the details are not going to be known until that S1 becomes public. 50 people, including and up to, as I was walking into this discussion, with fairly large potential service providers that could be interested in what we're doing or are interested in what we're doing. We expect to open the RFPs on March 22nd, and I do believe at this point in time we can consolidate a lot of functionality into a smaller number.
So this was all from the Adopt Stablecoin legislation and lay the foundation for a government-issued stablecoin. I'm not sure if Wyoming will be the first, but it seems like they have a very level-headed approach to this whole situation. Thanks for watching the video. If you guys enjoy daily crypto news, subscribe. And if you made it this far in the video, let me know you watched the full video. Give me 16 minutes of your day. I'm very grateful for that by commenting stablecoin in the comment section below. Have a great day. Until next time.